Bienvenue mes amis, and welcome to France and the Loire Valley, and this, the Chateau Chambord, the largest of the French chateaux in the Loire and probably one of the most recognisable chateaux in the world. If you are interested in 16th century Renaissance architecture, then the Chateau Chambord is an absolute must for your travel itinerary. Its construction was commenced in 1519 by a young and energetic King Francois I, Francis I of France, of course the great rival of King Henry VIII of England and the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. There had long been a medieval hunting lodge on site. Of course, this particular area was not far from the royal chateau of Blois, and the hunting lodge was frequented frequently by the young French king. However, in 1519, he commanded the beginning of an ambitious building project. To rise from the ashes of the medieval hunting lodge would be a magnificent chateau built in the height of Renaissance style, blending traditional French medieval forms with classical Renaissance structures. When you visit today, approaching along a long tree-lined drive, you will catch a glimpse of the chateau with its mighty turrets that soar into the sky, and my friends, it will take your breath away. The layout of the castle differs quite significantly from the courtyard palaces and manor houses of Tudor England. Although there is a large outer courtyard, the dominant feature by far is the enormous central keep with its 4 corner towers, all turreted, and the whole structure surrounded by a moat. Inside the chateau, the spaces are enormous, bright and airy. In fact, the internal structure is an early example of French and Italian style grouping of rooms into self-contained suites, which seem to flow from one to the other until, my friends, you will become completely disorientated. The most celebrated feature, however, of the castle at Chambord is its spectacular open double spiral staircase. It is the centrepiece of the chateau, with 2 particular spirals ascending the 3 floors without ever meeting, and illuminated from above by a kind of lighthouse or Louvre, which is situated at the highest point of the chateau. It is thought that Leonardo da Vinci may have had some influence over the design of the staircase, or indeed may have designed it himself, although of course Leonardo died in May 1519 and so was not there personally to oversee the construction. In fact, that honour went to Italian architect Domenica da Cortona. In all, the chateau has 440 rooms, 282 fireplaces and 84 staircases. For anyone interested in early Renaissance history, of course the apartments of Francois himself are amongst the most interesting. Here you will see a reception room, a bedroom, a study and his own personal oratory. All about you, the gleaming white stonework of the walls and the ceilings are elaborately carved with symbols of France, of the French king, of course his crown salamander, and the initials of Francis himself. Chambord took many years to complete, and it was in fact built in fits and starts. In fact, Francis himself spent a mere 7 weeks at the chateau in total. The chateau had only ever been constructed with short hunting forays in mind, and so it was impractical to live there on a longer-term basis, made so by the massive rooms, the open windows and the high ceilings, which meant it could be extremely difficult to keep warm, except of course in the height of summer. However, when all's said and done, Francis must have been pleased with the outcome. because towards the end of his life, when the chateau was perhaps at its zenith, he hosted a visit of his arch-rival Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor. Following Francis's death in March 1547, the chateau was abandoned for around 80 years and soon fell into decay. In fact, it led afterwards a very checkered life, but was eventually saved for the nation in the 1930s and has since been open to the public and of course is an extremely popular tourist destination.
Et sa valeur militaire n'a d'égal que sa loyauté à la couronne de France. Sa devise est « Dieu est au premier rang aux chrétiens ». Non !
However, for its sheer magnificence and stature, there are very few places in the Loire that can beat the Chateau Chambord.